Hi guys, it's Jane and I need to make some stitch markers. So I am actually going to sit here in my sewing table, and I'm going to make a few stitch markers. And I'm going to grab a couple of these lovely earrings and a couple of different things to make those with. Let's see. A couple of those. A couple of these. Maybe some sheep. Some different items. I also have some gold. I don't know if I have any gold earring pieces though. I have to look and see. Those are kind of hard to come by sometimes. Let me see if I have any in this other one. Nope, no gold. So I'm kind of wondering what I've done with them because I thought I had some gold. Have some copper. Do not have any gold. Well, then we will have to put the gold away for a later time, another time. As you know, with my bags, I give out stitch markers. So I'm going to set those gold off to the side because I can't use them. I did have a couple of Christmas bells. And these were meant to be earrings, I think. A couple gummy bears. A couple of wooden butterflies. I'm going to need some larger jump rings for those. Well, that'll do it for now. Just get started on making a couple of these. So what have you guys been up to? Generally what I do is I pick up one of these from Walmart, and it is a little holder. And it's one of those that is meant to hold that one's funny. But it's meant, for you to put trinkets in, that kind of thing. And generally, lots of times what I do is I'll put stitch markers in it so I'm ready to go to add those to my small little baggies, the 3.5 baggies. And generally I add in tea bag with my business card. So I needed to correct a couple of these. I had one that came undone, and it was the one with my my dragonfly. My dragonfly came off of it. So I needed to correct it. But yeah, that's kind of what I'm doing today, just trying to get caught up on some things. I did find it rather interesting, all of the events that have been happening since January the 1st. And I don't know if any of you follow Sean Ryan or not, but if you don't, you might want to. He has quite a few eye-opening revelations about certain things. And apparently he was contacted by the, well, he wasn't. Someone that he interviewed was contacted by this guy that blew up his truck in Las Vegas. And apparently this guy is a whistleblower. Supposedly that is what the theory is. That is put on backwards. Yeah. So undo it and change it out. And just some of the things that he has talked about, the war crimes and whatnot. That was basically what he is whistleblowing on. War crimes that have happened since 2019, I think, is what the last thing I heard was. I don't know if that's absolutely true or not, but either way, it's interesting when you listen to that whole 45-minute interview. And of course, Sean now supposedly has gone into hiding. Don't know why, but I don't blame him. I would imagine he's probably being contacted by the FBI to do a little bit of questioning about the person that he was talking with and the information that he received. So I would imagine that's not really going into hiding, other than following up with the FBI in that investigation. But it's rather interesting, to hear those different stories and all that kind of fun stuff, because you never know what's true and you never know what's BS. And I say I like a good conspiracy because conspiracies always start with just a kernel of truth. So, who knows what that kernel is? Could be any bit of it. Any little bit of it. Have a little bit of a giggle. Had to change the battery. Had a little bit of a giggle because I have a friend that, couple of friends that lean left, and we're still able to get along and be friends even though we have differences of opinion. And Lord knows, everybody's got an opinion, It's like buttholes, we all got one. But we were talking about this whole thing with some of the stuff that's been going on and how, the right always turns it into some kind of crazy conspiracy and whatnot. Well, sorry folks, both sides do it. But I'm kind of laughing because they're all giddy about, Merchan wanting to sentence Trump on the 10th of January, which may turn out to be a nothing burger in itself. He does what they're saying he's going to do, which is basically sentence him without sentencing him. And like I said, the biggest thing that I have with that whole issue is here he supposedly sent this hush money, to Stormy Daniels. And people say that it was illegal, yet it is exactly the same thing that John Edwards did with his mistress when he was running for president. But New York went in and changed some laws just recently, specifically so they could go after Trump. They haven't used it on anyone else, and I find that interesting. I do find that disheartening because it's going after your political opponents in a way that, quite frankly, is suspect. And then, of course, you have the whole thing where Stormy Daniels had to pay everything back because, she's supposed to pay everything back because she came out recanted and said that she lied. So, Who knows? But it'll be interesting. See how things end out. I have some Democrats that are pushing that theory out there that he'll never be president, and that Biden and Kamala will stay in the office because they won't be able to sign in a new president. And there's a part of me that goes, well, I think the Constitution has something to say a little bit different, because basically what that means is that J.D. Vance will be cleared in as the president. The president couldn't take his, couldn't fulfill his duties. Some of y'all are even more scared about J.D. Vance. So I just think it'll be interesting what happens after January the 2nd. I mean the 10th. And I do think it's interesting because, you know, people in the state of New York were all up and hammered with Trump when he was a Democrat, but then once he became a Republican, when he ran for president, they had everything under the sun against him, trying to take him out. So something really strange about that, if you ask me. And I know it's after Christmas, and I am going to use these little Christmas ornaments. They were miniature ornaments. That's what I make a lot of my stitch markers out of, because they come out looking nice. And you see me feeling it. I'm feeling to make sure that there's no rough edges there at the join when you put in your jump ring. You don't want it to be rough because that'll snag your material, those kind of things. So try to make sure it's not rough. And that's generally what I'm looking to feel for, to make sure that it is not rough. Oh, little sewing machine. And I do get some of these charms off of Amazon. Amazon has some great prices on charms. You can get bags full with 100, 200 pieces for anywhere from, if you're looking in the right place, $3 to $4, maybe $5 tops. And they make tons of, you can make tons of earrings that way, or stitch markers. And what I generally do is I just continue to make till I've got my box filled, until the next time I need to make more stitch markers. But I do need to make a note that I need to order some gold. Because I have some gold in here and I would like to use some of it. Ooh, hot air balloon. But anyway, like I said, that will be interesting. And then I see a lot of people on the left having a big old fit about the Mississippi marching band that is going to be play at Trump's inauguration and the parade and whatnot. There's a part of me that goes, what is wrong with you? Talk about prejudiced. It's an HBCU university, which is a historical black community university. They were invited. They have to pay their own way. And as part of that, they have to raise some money to be able to go. It's not free. People don't understand who pays for most of the inauguration. Generally, it is the person that is being inaugurated that pays the lion's share. And we pay some of it as a public. We generally pay for the security part of it. Well, that was good. Knocked that right off of there. We pay for the security part of it through, I believe it's Defense Department, might be Homeland, But it is up to each candidate that is coming into the presidency to raise the money to pay for their inauguration. And there is one good thing that Obama did. He raised the limit that corporations could donate. So you see a lot of corporations able to donate $1 million to offset those costs. I've seen some people have a hissy fit about day before Trump is having, I think, 3 events to raise money. And as part of the tickets to get into those events, they are asking for a donation of $100,000. And generally these are for high dollar donors. What's the big deal? Guess one of them was supposedly at a church for a prayer breakfast or something like that. So there's a lot of people on the left making a big stink about that. Calling him the Antichrist and all this nonsense, but it didn't bother you when Obama was doing it at a mosque. Didn't bother you when Biden did those different things as well to raise the money. Why should this bother you? Then the whole thing with the university, having to raise their own money. There's a lot of people that are poo-pooing it and suggest that they don't even go, and I think that's sad. This is a great opportunity for this university to show off their marching band. And they're an excellent marching band. Sorry. I'm all for anyone who wants to go to these things. Whether it's left or right. This is the one thing that we get to do every 4 years is put in a new president or re-elect the same sitting one. And there should be pomp and circumstance around it. I think we need to get over ourselves if we think that there aren't ways that they should be raising the money or can raise the money. They do a lot of different things. Trump has a couple what he calls victory parties planned for that day. And it'll raise money, as it should, That is the whole purpose, so that American taxpayers aren't on the, don't have to pay for the whole thing. I think Obama's was one of the most expensive. Nowadays they're costing $100 million or more for these stupid things, so whatever. But then I continue to see a lot of negativity about new president being elected. And I think we all are entitled to our opinions, but I think at some point we have to stop some of the anger and derangement that we're having around this whole thing, and that these parties need to work together. That is my big thing every year, is I want, regardless of whether it is a Republican or a Democrat that's put into office, I would hope that the Congress would work to see that they were successful. Congress, and in doing things that they had put into changes for our country or called for, because I think we should always want America to be successful. And I think a lot of people that don't want that, you got to understand, when you don't want that, you actually want America to fail. And in my opinion, that puts you on the side of the terrorist. So, like I said, we should always want America to succeed, regardless of which president it is. I would hope that these folks will work together instead of being obstructionist the entire time. You know, I mean, they spent billions of dollars. His first presidency, trying to oust him and doing everything under the sun, which they couldn't do because none of it was provable. You know, take a chill pill and start working for the people. Work for us. You know, quit working for your own party and making your own damn money. And I do think we've got a bunch of elders that are in our Congress. I do believe it is time for some term limits. Kind of curious if Nancy did actually break her hip. She's supposedly back in Congress working. And anybody that's had hip surgery, had hip replacement, knows that it's a long process. And even if you've broken your hip and they do not replace it, they just do a surgery to pin it back into place, that kind of thing. Takes quite a while for that healing. So there's a part of me that wonders if she just broke her pelvis and didn't really break her hip. A lot of times when you break a pelvis, doctors don't do anything. It's kind of like when you break your tailbone. Not a whole lot you can do. Just kind of have to suffer through it and get through it. And, yeah. So I don't know. I don't know what the full story there is. And I don't think they've been forthcoming truly with what actually happened with her. But wish her well. Wish her to get taken care of. Then we have that one congresswoman that was found in a nursing home for Alzheimer's patients. And they say she's not there for Alzheimer's. But she's been there 6 months. Nobody noticed she was missing. I think she was the chair for the Appropriations Committee, possibly. Some sort of stuff like that. And nobody missed her. Not appropriations. Maybe it was government accountability. But yeah, I think it's time for some term limits. Then we have Mitch McConnell, that who knows what's going on with him. That's a scary thing. If you've watched any of the press conferences with him about freezing and everything else, and of course, you know, he's fallen a couple times, and it ain't safe for them. They're too old. So that worries me a little bit. You know, I think we should be worried when they get to a point that they're having a lot of falls and injured, that kind of thing. Need to worry about it just a bit. But yeah, it's been interesting. Here in Pennsylvania, we got snow last night. It's bitter cold today. I don't know if we're getting more snow or not. I keep hearing we might be getting more snow. Then I hear we're not. And no clue. Hope we don't. Got enough. We had one of our major streets blocked off last night because of black ice. And of course, in the past, they get out there and they take care of the roads and salt them, that kind of thing, early. Well, for some reason this year, they're just waiting until the storm comes in, then going out and salting. And I'm sure that's cost. You know, everything costs more and more money to get out there and take care of things. So, that's kind of scary though. Thoughts of being out there and being on black ice. We've got some pretty steep hills. That's the only thing that I don't like being out on those streets because of those hills. When you're on black ice, good luck. You know, may the odds ever be in your favor, that kind of thing. I kind of have to laugh because our Dunkin' Donuts has been closed since about November, mid-November. They were going to do some renovations, and they're still doing the renovations. But they opened up their drive-thru, and that thing has been a mess because lines are long. And I don't really go in for Dunkin' Donuts coffee, but I know a lot of folks do. And I always find it interesting, our church has a coffee bar that we do in the morning. And a lot of people come into church and they've already got their coffee from Dunkin' Donuts. They just top it off with some of the church coffee. And they have tea as well, so you can have hot tea, coffee. The kiddos can have hot chocolate. Certain age, if they want coffee, they have to have a parent come up so that the people that are attending the coffee bar know it's okay to give them coffee, which is probably a good idea. And they also include donuts. We've been doing donuts. That's been a lot of fun. One of our local bakeries, well, she's not really that local to us. She's in the little town over about 10, 15 minutes away. But one of our church members knows her pretty well, and she sets aside some donuts for us on Sunday morning, and he stops by, goes in and picks them up and brings them in for us to have part of our coffee. So that's kind of fun. Do your churches do anything like that? For those of you that go to church? I know not everybody goes to church. And that is a personal choice. With the shop, I'm having that sale right now, and then after the 10th of January, the sale goes off. And then I'm going to do some things in the shop to kind of restructure it. Just going to start adding some things that I would like to add that I've done in the past that I enjoy doing that. Instead of just the crochet bags for knitters and crocheters, I'm going to be adding a couple of different things in the upcoming year. And hopefully that will be fun and, make me feel a little bit more ambitious to do things in the shop. I've kind of slowed down on those kind of things because just haven't been feeling it so much lately. And generally what I do is when I go out looking for fabric, I choose something, I think about my customers, but I also think about the fabric, the season that it is in, and I kind of want to get away from doing seasonal bags. I've done seasonal bags for many years, and I don't think that so much is a big thing. Although I do have a friend who tells me you need to have seasonal bags because it's important to have seasonal bags. People need to have a purse for Christmas or a bag for Christmas, bag for Easter, whatnot. I will use a bag regardless of what it is. Say if it's a Halloween bag, Halloween fabric, I will use that bag year round. But a lot of people don't like to do that. A lot of people like to have it according to a certain season. Okay, got to figure out which way this charm goes. But anyway, I want to get away from those types of seasonal bags. I would like to add some more vinyl to some of the bags. I also would like to add some different items that are not just the bags. Well, let's put it this way, craft bags, sewing, for crocheters, knitters, that kind of thing. I would like to add some different bags like bread bags. I use a bread bag at home and I absolutely love how it keeps the bread fresh and moist. And so I'd like to add some of those types of things. And as you know, I've been making small bags. I call them craft bags or craft show bags, whatever you want to call them. But they're different bags that can be used when you're going out for a craft show. Just carry, a wallet. Not even a wallet, really, your card, money, and maybe your cell phone, some tissues, that kind of thing. So it's a little crossbody type bag. Some people call them cell phone bags. They're not really just cell phone bags. So I would like to make some more of those and add those into the shop. And lately I've been having fun making cat toys, so I'd like to add some cat toys in there as well. So those are some things I'm looking at for the shop. Change things up a little bit. So that way I'm not such a rut of just doing bags. Although I love making bags. They're not that difficult to make, and I enjoy doing that, but I like to branch out to something a little bit different. So I don't feel a drudgery when I am making things for this, for my Etsy shop. So after the 10th, on the 11th, I will sort of take the shop down for a little bit of a hiatus while I restructure things a little bit, determine what I'm going to put in, what I'm not going to put in, all that fun stuff. So, yeah, that's kind of what I'm looking at. Let's see. A couple dragonflies I want to put into some pins. Maybe a couple more of these. A couple more of the wooden butterflies. I enjoy those. And I think that will do it for this little round, because I'm not going to fill up a whole bag while I'm sitting here talking to you. That would, of course, take forever. And you guys do not want to be here forever. But it does take a little bit of time of your day while you can sit, crochet, and knit while I'm chitter-chatting. Of course, you can always go find someone else to chitter-chat if you don't want to listen to my crazy rants. Just have fun. And they're just different things that I would like to talk about. Don't know if that's gonna sit right. Well, let's try one and see how that works out. May need to add a bigger jump ring. Yep, I'm going to have to add a bigger jump ring because that is way too small. And that's okay. I have a couple of bigger ones here that will work just fine. Does anybody still use the public library? I haven't been to the public library in a long time. And ours does a lot of interesting things. They have things like tea parties and artists and drawing and storytelling, and probably should look at going back into the libraries. Yeah, that dragonfly is a little funky. I don't know if you can see it or not. Kind of hangs funky, but we're going to leave it go for now. I'll worry about it later and put those back because they're not working out well. That's all there is to it. But yeah, I'm just curious, do any of you use your local library anymore? I know ours also has a lot of videos, DVDs that you can rent. They also have a lot of books on DVD that you can rent and listen to. I have often enjoyed, while I was doing home health, I loved, of course I was using cassettes then, and there was a place that you could buy used books, used cassettes, books on cassettes. Didn't have a CD player in the car. It's a cassette player. Doesn't that date the car? But used to listen to those on the ride, traveling from patient to patient. And there were times when I would get to the patient's home and I didn't want to get out because it was a good part of the book. But I had to. Many times those patients would see me out in the car and they'd be like, "What are you doing, Jane?" I'd tell them I'm listening to a book on cassette. They'd laugh. Have a good giggle at that. So, and I do still enjoy Audible books. Because it's nice not to have to sit and read where you can listen to the book as you're crocheting, knitting, crafting, sewing, you name it. So, yeah, I think there's a big place for Audible books still in our culture. Not only that, but I think some of us are lazier than others and can't be bothered to actually read the page, turn it. So, Anyway, well, I'm going to finish this one up. I'm going to let you go for now. Hope you enjoyed this little chat while I worked on a couple of stitch markers. And I'll see you again soon. Everybody have a great week. Bye.